Hey there, welcome to the UkeStuff channel and welcome to this full UkeGuide review of this instrument. This is the Enya KUC Laminate Sapele Concert Ukulele. It is no longer available as I'm recording this, but Enya does make a solid top mahogany version of this that is selling for currently around $77 on Amazon. Or around there on their own website at enya-music.com. I would suggest buying it from enya-music.com and supporting the company directly. Just would help the company out. Now, a little bit about the history of this instrument with me. A few years ago, I was teaching at a middle school and I wrote a grant for a district teacher grant, not a school grant, not a district grant, but a teacher union grant. And it was for 10 ukuleles that my students could check out, 10 ukuleles my students could check out. And I won that grant. And I was told that those ukuleles would then come with me and travel with me, basically become my own ukuleles for whatever school I was at, because they were there to help me with my instruction. So these have followed me to my current job now as an elementary music teacher as well, where I check these out with students. The other ones all have colored kid strings on them. I had not changed the strings on this one, and that was almost 3 years ago when I got that grant. But I haven't changed the strings on this one, but it hasn't been played that much either, because the other ones have the Aquila kids strings on them, the colored ones that match everything else we do at our school. So that is why I have this one. It was not sent to me by Enya, although I should disclose that Enya has sent me ukuleles to review in the past. In fact, recently I also received their new Enya, not the new acoustic sort of fancy electric guitar, sort of electric guitar, speaker guitar system, but the one that kind of looks like the Nova, just for fun. So that will probably show up on the channel at some point. So just so you know, I do have a relationship with Enya. As you watch this review, no, I was not sent this one free. I did get it free along with 9 others that were part of a teacher grant, but ultimately these were paid for. So just so you know, sort of my history with Enya, and you can keep that and factor that into the review here. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at 3 main areas. First of all, subjective categories for this instrument. Second, we'll look at the specifications. And then third, I'll summarize it and give it a rating out of 5 ukuleles. And as a disclosure, the rating is going to be lower on this one than you would expect, because it does not have side position markers on it. And I think everything Enya makes today has side position markers, so this one predates that. But one of my rules on the channel is that if an instrument now does not have side position markers, its highest possible score is a 3.5 out of 5. And that doesn't necessarily reflect the rest of the instrument, but those side position markers I've decided are incredibly important, even if there's just one, like Kamaka does. So let's get into the subjective categories. Cost, these were $55 each, and I got 10 of them. So, that's a pretty good deal considering that you get Enya's really nice gig bag and all the accessories, which I do not have here. So you get the thing like the strap and the tuners and the cloth and the shaker and the capo. And I mean, it's a complete kit. It's the best kit that's out there. And I'm not just saying that because I like Enya, it's because it's true. Parapol also sells a version of this instrument that they get in and then they sell out immediately, and then they get more in. Parapol is a music education specialty company. So if you're interested in that, you can also see the Parapol Classic Ukulele by Enya by going to parapol.com. Parapol, incidentally, is another company that I work with, so just keep that in mind as well. But their price is about the same. And if you're a music educator, you get a discount above and beyond just the price of the company as well. It's very competitive with Amazon as its normal pricing, but then it's even less expensive for a music educator. So cost $55 for these new. A solid top mahogany version of these sell for about just under $80, both on Enya's website and Amazon. Again, consider buying off of Enya's website. The value, it's a great value. It's a really well-made ukulele with a great kit, with a great overall playing experience, decent sound. Definitely recommended overall, so the value is very, very good. Build quality also, Enya has an established reputation now of making really well-made ukuleles. So the exterior is, again, we'll get into appearance in a second, that rosette is not for everybody. And again, the rosettes are different today than they were at that time. The Enya logo, people say actually looks like the singer's logo and talk about that. But other than that, it's a very plain ukulele. Again, we're getting into areas of appearance, but just unfinished edges on the side. So there are companies that do that. I know Flight does that on some of theirs as well. No binding, but again, binding might be an extra that you may not want to spend the money for. If you just want an inexpensive, good playing ukulele with the kit that you need, why have anything more? I mean, really, in the big scheme of things. So, yeah, ultimately, really well put together on the outside. You're not going to see really any flaws. You get the quality controls pass there. But let's take a look at the inside. One of the things I do is I look at the inside of each of these ukuleles by using an endoscope. So I'm going to turn that on and get recording on the inside. Here we go. All right, let's go in with what I call the internal Uke Cam. Right, so there's the label, the KUC-20 Enya ukulele. It'll tell you made in China. And we go inside, we see the high quality laminate, really nice laminate that Enya uses. Overall, a very clean build. There is the pull-through bridge. Don't let that scare you. Some people get scared by that. They're really quite easy to use. And it really, people say that it helps the transference of sound to the soundboard, which I would not doubt. There's a little bit of extra glue there, but generally it's really clean. There's your tail block, notch kerfing. You can see your horizontal braces, your vertical braces, and there's the bridge plate up there. If I can back up a little bit, can't see the whole bridge plate, but there you go. And you can see the, the vertical braces. You can see the little bit of extra glue there, but not bad. And I'll make a note that there are no screws holding in the bridge plate either. All right, let's look at the upper bout. All right, I'm trying to move far enough back we can see on the inside here. This is a tight squeeze. There is the neck block. There is our notch kerfing, a little bit of extra glue, a horizontal brace. You can see the quality of the laminate there. There is the lower part of the instrument, not the lower bout, but the back of the instrument. And you can see again the notch kerfing and just the neck block there, a little bit of extra glue there as well. Yeah, so overall, nice clean build, quality build, traditionally built by Enya, the KUC-20 Concert Ukulele. So we're back. Again, really nicely built. No complaints there, and that's what we've been finding about all Enya ukuleles. Now, in terms of appearance, it's very plain, very bare bones. The one ornament is the rosette, which is a little flowery that some people may not like. Doesn't appeal to me, but it's not bold enough that it bothers me, so that doesn't bother me. It did come with the strap buttons on it. It does come with a pull-through bridge. It does have the closed-geared tuners on it. If the back is arched, it's just a little bit. And the other thing that, again, I wanted to mention is it does not have the side position markers with the appearance. But it does have the front markers, but again, I'm always looking for those, the side position markers. Enya also has a really nice heel shape. If you look at that heel, really nice low profile, which then again, if you want to play something at the 12th fret up here, the heel's not in your way. So you don't even need a cutaway because the heel, the shape of the heel allows you to put your thumb right there and play all the way up to the 12th fret with a bar chord without any problems. Getting up to, the 15 or all the way up to the 18 might be an issue. But hey, that's okay. A lot of beginning players with an instrument of this quality are only going to be using the first 5 frets anyway. Again, keep learning more frets, but let's just be honest about where this instrument is going. It's generally for a beginner or somebody that just wants an ukulele they can travel with. They're not going to be probably doing a lot of high-end neck playing. So again, just the shape of that heel is really nice. All right, in terms of availability, these aren't available anymore, but you can get the solid top mahogany version for not a whole lot more money 3 years later. So that's really nice. You might be able to find them used, so keep your eyes open for that. And you can find I think a laminate mahogany version of this from Parapole, the Parapole Classic ukulele that is available out there too. Now, in terms of playability, it is really nice low action, so that's wonderful. There is a slight radius to the fretboard, I think. I can actually see it. It has a slight radius to the fretboard, which is pretty amazing for that price point. But the thing that might be a negative for people with large hands is that it's a 35 millimeter nut with narrow string spacing and, again, a C-shaped neck. So that's, if there's anything that Enya can do to make their instruments a little better, would be a little bit wider neck, again, with a little bit thinner neck profile. And again, I've looked at, like old Kamakas, and Kamakas had a thin neck profile for years. I haven't reviewed it yet, but I've reviewed a Rogue ukulele, which is kind of considered like really low quality. Their neck shape is awesome. So I know companies can do it. It's just an issue of kind of pushing those Chinese manufacturers to just, let's make those necks just a little bit thinner, a little bit different shape, and let's move on from there. So that is the dream, is that all companies would make a little bit wider nut, a little bit thinner neck for everybody's benefit, because I think that would help all people's hands overall. It doesn't have to be a super wide nut, just a little bit, 36 millimeter, be awesome. And again, a thinner neck would be great. So how about sound quality? I think it's really good. Again, as a warning, I like bright sounding ukuleles. There are people who like dark sounding ukuleles or almost muffled ukuleles. That's not me. I like bright, blingy. And listen to this. There's sustain, but there are overtones just popping out on the high end on a laminate ukulele. Thin laminate that's being used, good quality laminate that's being used. You can actually see it on both sides. I mean, I've looked at laminate that you can actually look at and see and go, well, we can tell that's not good. This is good laminate. You can just see the quality both on the inside and the out. Sometimes the inside is the best way to look at that. And the laminate is paying off, as is the build. Nice and ringy. So, decent volume, not overly loud. It's a balanced sound with low-end sustain and also sustained overtones. Lots of harmonic chime there. So very, very nice. I like this one a lot. One of the things I do in these videos as well is I let you see what I'm hearing by playing the instrument into the app Tonal Energy Tuner on my iPad. So let's go do that. I'll play the C chord and let you hear what's going on with it. I'm not sure why, but Tonal Energy Tuner isn't giving it much justice in terms of showing the sustain. And the sustain is there, but it's just not being picked up by Tonal Energy Tuner where some instruments are. And again, there's high-end overtones. You can see the whole spectrum light up as you play it, which is nice. It shows the balanced sound, but it's not showing the sustain that's there, nor is it showing the harmonic overtones that are ringing too after you play. Don't know why, but again, it is what it is, and that's what's showing up today on Tonal Energy Tuner. All right, now that we've looked at the subjective categories, let's get into the specifications. It is a concert ukulele with a measured scale length of 18.75 inches from nut to saddle. There are 18 frets with 14 to the body. There are no side position markers, which are going to hurt the score of this instrument overall. The body style is a traditional double bout, and it's all made out of laminate sapele, which is very close to mahogany, same family. The fretboard is a Richlite fretboard, and it is a Richlite pull-through bridge. The fretboard does have a slight radius to it, and the nut and saddle are made out of new bone, and it is a compensated saddle, as you can see down there. The finish is sort of that glossy satin. It's not a gloss, but a glossy satin. The overall length of the instrument is 23.75 inches from tip to tail, not counting the strap button down there. And actually it's a little heavier than you'd expect. It's 1 pound, 2.1 ounces. Not sure why, but it doesn't hurt the sound at all. The tuner type is a closed gear tuner, and it does say Enya on each of those tuners. That's really nice. The action at the first fret is less than 0.5 millimeters. The action at the 12th fret is 2.5 millimeters. Spot on. And pretty much every Enya I've ever played has had perfect setup right out of the box. So it can be done by factories if they have a high level of quality control and expect them to be done that way. The nut width of the instrument is 34.88 millimeters, which is less than 35 millimeters. So that means it is a narrow nut with narrow string spacing. The space between strings to the first fret is 8.56 millimeters between each string. That's pretty narrow. Only 28.01 millimeters G to A. So it's really narrow. And you could really improve that with a little bit wider nut, and again, a little bit wider neck and a little bit thinner neck, which is where we're going to get to next. The depth of the neck at the third fret is 21.49 millimeters from the top of the third fret to the bottom of the neck. There's nothing special about the third fret. I just started to measure all the instruments and just chose that as a relative spot so we'd have a comparison point. So 21.49 is pretty standard for a 35 millimeter nut instrument. The string spacing here is a little bit more narrow or a little bit tighter even than many, and that again is something that Enya could address. All right, now that we've talked about the specifications, let's go into the summary and the overall UkeGuide rating for this instrument. Several years ago, I won a grant and was able to purchase 10 of these, and these instruments have, for all intents and purposes, become my instruments that I use with my students. And I actually allow them to check them out, and we just keep a list of them, and as they, bring them back, their name gets crossed off, another kid can check them out in my 5th grade classes where I teach ukulele. And yes, some have come back with broken strings, but the instruments themselves are holding up pretty well. This one only has a scratch on the bottom here. I'm seeing if I can get it in the light. It's right here. There it is. You can see it. This one only has a scratch from all the kids that have checked it out at a couple different schools over the years. So yeah, they're holding up nicely, and they are really wonderful, solid little instruments. Now, sadly, you can't buy this, but you can buy some instruments like it today. So, for example, the Enya or the Parapole Classic ukulele made by Enya that's sold by parapole.com, a music education store, will sell something very similar to this if you're looking for something like this. And Enya themselves sell a mahogany top, solid mahogany top version of this for under $80 with the kit and everything else. And you're going to get the same quality, maybe even better sound with a solid mahogany top than this one for just under $80. So they're great value, great playing, great sounding. The only negative probably, again, is 35 millimeter nut, narrow string spacing, and thick C-shaped neck. And that's something that you're going to find throughout the industry, from Kala to Aklot to Enya. I mean, it's just part of what's done, and we just need to move all those companies off of that. The other real big negative here is that this instrument doesn't have any side position markers. I'm pretty sure most Enyas do today. Although when I was looking at the solid top mahogany on Enya's website today, they didn't have a picture showing this side of the neck. So I don't know if those side position markers are there either. I wouldn't not buy an ukulele because of that, because I always get a Sharpie and temporarily draw them on, like with a silver Sharpie. But it's certainly something that I'm looking for with every instrument, is to have those side position markers. When I start off playing at the beginning of this video, the sound samples, when I play for release, I start at the 7th fret. And that can be really hard to see with just a black line there. So if I have a dot at the 7th, which is what Kamaka does, that gives me a reference point, a single dot. And then if I have other dots on the side, then it makes that easier. I don't have to look at the fretboard as much to do what I need to do on the instrument. So do keep that in mind, that it doesn't have side position markers on the KUC-20. I don't know right now about the Enya Parapole Classic, and I don't know, or the Parapole Classic made by Enya, and I don't know about the solid top mahogany, but I'm guessing that they do. So because of the side position marker, I have to give this one a little bit lower rating. I give ukuleles a rating between 0 and 5 ukuleles. If it had side position markers, this would be a 4.5 all day long, because of the quality, because of the sound, because of the kit that you get with it. And the decent value that you get with it from an established company that's known for making quality products. It'd be a 4.5. But unfortunately, because of the lack of side position markers, it's a 3.5 max, and that's as high as I can give it because of that. That's the only flaw with it. Now, could I take this instrument to luthier and have side position markers put on? Yes. If this were my own, I might even actually do that, even if this was just an instrument that I was dragging around as a low-cost instrument so I didn't, ruin a better instrument or something like that. Still, again, that lowers the score to 3.5. Or I could draw some Sharpie on the side, but that's going to wear off over time. I can always draw more Sharpie on. But it's nice just to have the side position markers on every instrument, and it should be standard practice in the industry. Back, even 3 years ago, that wasn't always standard practice. It was something we were hoping for, but really, 2022, a gig bag at Enya's level. By the way, Enya is part of the companies that really turned the gig bags around, so you're getting better gig bags these days with your instruments. But not only that, not only should you have a better gig bag in 2022, not Enya, but other companies, you should have side position markers on every instrument that you sell if you're an ukulele company. All right, so that's the full review of this instrument. It's an instrument I really like, even though the score isn't the best because of that side position marker issue. Definitely recommended. You might want to have side position markers put on. Other than that, pretty good. So, thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll be back soon with some more Uke stuff for you.